Minister, EU nature restoration hangs in the balance. It's unclear at this stage what the ultimate law will look like after the final vote was postponed at the Environment Committee this morning. If it's undermined, there will be plenty of blame to go around. Your coalition partners, Fine Gael, have been among the chief critics of the proposed law. Instead of supporting the measures, the Taoiseach has slated them. He has propagated fears that farmers will be forced to re-wet their land as part of the law. He has done this despite the fact that he knows, or at least should know, this is not true. The Taoiseach isn't alone in cynically politicking on this. Sinn Féin MEP Chris McManus also joined in and voted against one of the most important pieces of EU legislation in its history at the Agriculture Committee. Like the Taoiseach, he chose to pit farmers against nature, said there's too much ambiguity about the impact the law would have on farmers. If there is any ambiguity, most of it has been caused by MEPs like Mr McManus or the Taoiseach, who chose to ramp up fears rather than alleviate them. Also centrally engaged in Project Fear was your own Fianna Fáil MEP Billy Kelleher. He has been at the forefront in Irish media in recent weeks, arguing that the law threatens the livelihood of farmers. Mr Kelleher has made these claims in the absence of any evidence. In fact, the nature restoration law aims to provide new funding streams for farmers to ensure the viability of farms long into the future. Minister, I hope that you're as concerned as I am, because let's be clear about this. There is no future for farming unless we protect our ecosystems and our biodiversity. I should know because I am a farmer. My mother is a farmer. I have lived and worked on a farm for my entire life. I am deeply committed to ensuring that farmers have a future in this country. That means being deeply committed to protecting our critically endangered habitats and biodiversity. I do not see these things as being in any way in conflict with each other. Quite the opposite, they are intrinsically linked. But I have to say that the kind of dangerous distortions about nature restoration coming from some in both government and the main opposition party are very worrying. We only have to look at the results of yesterday's EPA report for evidence of the huge problems that we face. The EPA report found unacceptably high levels of pollution in our rivers and lakes due to human activities. We can't credibly claim we want to deal with that and all of the other immense climate challenges while arguing against the nature restoration law. So, Minister, you have responsibility for biodiversity in your department. Are you also concerned about the scaremongering from your own party, from Fine Gael and Sinn Féin about nature restoration? And are Fianna Fáil MEPs going to vote for nature restoration, a law with teeth?
Thank you, Deputy Cairns, for raising this very important issue. And as you've outlined, the proposed regulation, I believe, and government believes, provides an opportunity for transformative change in relation to achieving nature restoration in Ireland and the EU as a whole. And that is to be welcomed, absolutely. And you've already made reference to the EPA report yesterday and see the challenges that we have in relation to water quality in our watercourses right across the country. Healthy ecosystems also provide food and food security, clean water, carbon sinks and protection against natural disasters caused by climate change. And as previously outlined, Ireland remains absolutely supportive of the ambition and principles underpinning these regulations. There is a challenge involved in meeting the ambition proposed, and that does remain significant. You'll see the debates that are happening within the European Union, within the Parliament. These include the extremely tight timeframes for quantification of targets and measures, for the preparation of National Restoration Plan and for the delivery of targets. There will be a need to be a considerable amount of scientific data collection, collation and analysis, including emerging information from the Land Use Review. The resources required for preparing, implementing and monitoring the National Restoration Plan are currently not in place. But regarding agriculture, anything farmers will be asked to do will be voluntary, and they will be supported financially for any measures. And you're right to raise that issue, because it's not a question of pitting farmers against biodiversity. And from my experience in North County Dublin and across the country, our farmers are protectors in the main of the environment and biodiversity, and they understand it, and our communities do Take the success of the Acre scheme for argument's sake. 46,000 farmers signed up to the scheme's largest ever agri-environmental scheme. And this shows that farmers are leading from the front and playing their part and are being rewarded for taking measures to combat climate change. Rewetting is one of the many tools, and this has been an area where there has been scaremongering on. It's one of the many tools to meet our restoration commitments, and under the Council's proposals for regulation, the extent of rewetting required would be at the Member States' discretion. Ireland will be relying on state lands, Coillte and Bordnamona lands, for example, to shoulder the majority of the rewetting required. So there should be no fear in that sector of any measures being taken where someone or farming communities aren't going to voluntarily opt in. Minister McConalogue has outlined the significant flexibility under the Council's proposals, and that Irish agriculture production is not expected to be significantly or adversely affected, and state lands will contribute almost all of the initial commitment in this space. This is a very important stage and time for the European Union as a whole, I believe, to act together positively in this regard in relation to nature restoration. Yes, there are discussions and debates happening. That is appropriate that happens.
Kearns.
Thank you for your reply, Minister, but I do think that your contribution has again made clear one of the major problems that we face, and there's no shortage of supportive rhetoric from the government, but very few results. We're repeatedly told the government is committed and that they've passed one of the most ambitious climate action laws in the world, but we're missing all our targets. Our emissions are going up, our rivers and lakes are choked with pollution, our biodiversity is in crisis. More than half of native plant species are in decline, more than 60% of Ireland's wild bird species are in decline. The failure of successive governments to address biodiversity loss has left us with such little time to reverse it. The time to act is now, and I agree with you that farmers know exactly the risks that they're facing in terms of biodiversity loss. I think they know better than anybody, and they're constantly underestimated and spoken for as one homogenous group in this room, and it's not the case. But actions will speak louder than words. So I'll return to my question that I asked you in my first contribution. Will Fianna Fáil MEPs vote for the nature restoration law?
Thank you. Minister.
Deputy, Ireland hasn't been on the sidelines of this, nor indeed has this government. We brought forward the most comprehensive climate action plan. We underpinned that we underpinned that in law. Some parties decided to vote against it. This is the single biggest challenge that this world has. It's in relation to reversing the loss in biodiversity and tackling climate change. And it's our responsibility, this generation's responsibility, probably the last generation that can actually do something about it. And there will be tough choices. There will be tough choices. But I want to give you a couple of examples of where we've already moved. If you look at, we've scaled up our peatland restoration significantly in recent years, particularly in the Midlands region, and have made substantial progress in delivering over 13,000 hectares of rehabilitated peatlands in Bordnamona ownership. The Climate Action Plan is committed to a further rehabilitation of 77,000 hectares of lands by 2030. So there are many measures. They're just examples. I was in the Climate Committee myself this morning for my own Department of Housing and looking at what we're doing with regard to ensuring that we're reducing the emissions within the housing sector and within the local government sector as well by retrofitting measures. This government supports the nature restoration law, and the European Parliament is separate to this Parliament. All I would say to you, Deputy, I agree completely as the importance of this matter, and that Europe acts as a whole in a very considered way, but in a very effective way.
Now we move to Deputy McBarry.